Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Sorry about the inconsistency. I haven't posted in quite a long time. I've really been trying to work on my photography business, getting things rolling, working on the studio, and really just been hitting in the studio a lot of doing a lot of test model shoots. So working there, doing e-com, doing just kind of anything I can get my hands on. Really trying to build out the studio the way I like it and just getting a consistent theme going, something that I enjoy, something that people can recognize. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on. So I just wanted to give you a little studio tour, kind of where I work every day. So this is basically the setup. So here we go. So I'm using the kind of simple little area. So we got a nice little backdrop stand. I do prefer the tan color. It is kind of my color that I usually go to, especially for model testing. I just keep it consistent, nice and rolled at the bottom. I use this tan tarp as well, really nice for skin tones. So it's gonna bring out those, nice tan, beautiful golden skin tones. I've noticed whenever I use just the floor as like a gray floor, it kind of gives a blue cast. So whatever your floor is, that's kind of what you're gonna give off, a blue cast. If it's white, it definitely gives a little more bright white, kind of a white, vibrant cast. But I prefer the tan, just kind of what I like. You can go barefoot, you can lay on the ground, just throw it in the washing machine, clean it up, throw it back out, good to go. So I do like that setup. For lighting, we have two setups. So I want to show you both the setups really quick, and then one day I will go into how these setups work and how how I kind of shoot in here and what it goes into a model test shoot. But for today, let's just go for a tour. So we have the SK402 by Godox. I have 3 of these. These are probably the best lights that you can get for the money. $139. Very, very, very inexpensive. I've been using them for probably over a year now, and I use them pretty regularly, and they haven't failed me. I've never had a problem with them. So far, really just great. They're great if you just want to have a light. I've dropped one, broke it before, wasn't heartbroken. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't just fall on the ground. It actually went flying. So it was a little break, but it's not a big deal. So you're not going to hurt the bank if something happens to it, happens to fall. Not the end of the world. That's why I do like kind of using these, especially for creative shoots when you're going to be moving the lights around a lot. You want to be a little more mobile kind of with the lighting. So if it falls, it's okay. 7-foot umbrella with a nice white diffusion, very inexpensive as well. So really a great one light setup. I do just use this light when I'm using the tan backdrop, and depending on the shape of the person's face, if it's a guy or a girl, that will depend on where the light goes, if I want to create more depth or just if I want a nice flat look. So I just kind of move that around, got a C-stands, kind of a bunch of C-stands everywhere. And that's just kind of the area tour. Just throwing a little greenery over there, just kind of looks nice with the tan backdrop. If I want to add it in there, I'll throw it in there, just give it a little extra, a little texture, a little kind of color. And here we go, I use this light. So this is for soft lighting, so I want a nice soft, beautiful look to it, great. But then sometimes fashion models, you want a nice hard look, a little edgier. So I use one light just with the cover. I actually put it here on the ground and we shoot against that white wall. So it's 3/4 usually. You can do full body headshots as well, but it gives it a nice bright white background that everybody likes, and casts a nice shadow, so it adds a little depth to the scene. You're not just a flat white, you do have a little shadow. It's a very hard light, so be careful if you have really bad skin. You're gonna see every little thing. You will have to go in and start doing some retouching, but if you have good makeup or good skin, not a big deal. You can hit models with a pretty hard light, and it looks cool. It's very interesting. So I do like the setup. I have a soft light, and then I have a hard light. I also can go outside. There's a really nice area outside. It's kind of got a little bit of everything, brick and, greenery and just a little bit of everything. So that's my setup. I'll go soft light, hard light, outdoors, then they change clothes. Very simple. And going into the next setup, so if I want to do, maybe it's a bigger shoot, you're going to be here all day, you're going to have lots of people, or you just, you want to show off, we do have an expensive shoot. I'm going to turn the camera around so I can show you. So this is the kind of a Manfrotto stand with the, what is this? It's not Ellen Chrome, I forgot what it is. Oh yeah, the Broncolor Para 177. So a big, big soft light source. So very soft, very kind of high-end light source. We do have a Profoto head inside there running down to here. So this Profoto, this is the Pro, so these are a little older now, but they're still very effective, very powerful. You can attach 3 heads. They all just have these cables, attach 3 in here, so I can kind of put 2 on the background, maybe 1 up top, or however I want to set it up. Great, of course, great light source, but as you can tell, it is a big and kind of takes up a lot of space. So you're not going to be as creative with it. It's more of a setup when you just want to set it and forget it, just go. These a little more mobile, you can move around a little bit, you can be a little more creative. Just always have a nice box around. You want a nice stool, a fan, just the basics. So I really want to keep it consistent, simple, not, nothing too crazy. You don't have to go, oh, this all wild color gels and all kinds of things in the beginning. Don't worry about all that stuff. Just get a consistent look going that people can recognize that's you, and you can offer people that they can buy and they know it's consistent. That's kind of what you want people to do. Come to you for a reason, not, they don't know what they're going to get when they come to you. So you definitely want to have something that people can purchase and a service that you can offer. And if you want to get creative and people want to throw out ideas, that's totally fine as well. But definitely start in the beginning, just pick something simple. Pick a couple colors that you like. Just work on that, master that, figure out the lighting, and start trying to bring people into the door. Best way to do it, and that's kind of been thankfully working for me. Now that I have a little more consistent setup, I feel like I'm definitely getting a lot busier, and people are starting to say, oh, I like that, I want to do that. You offer something kind of unique that people can come to you. Don't put yourself into a position where that's the only thing you do, unless that is the only thing you want to do. But definitely have something that people can come to you for. Just like if you're buying anything, go in the Apple store, they come out with a new watch, that's fine. But they do have Macs, they do have iPhones, they have these staple items that they have that you go there for a reason, not just something new every year and you don't know what you're going to get. Here we go. Camera setup. I'm using back on the EOS R. Yes, if you follow my channel, you know I've had every kind of camera. I've had the R5 already, I've had the SL2S, I've had the SL, I've had all the Sonys, but for me right now, this is my favorite setup. The EOS R 24-105. That lens is the most boring lens in the world, but you should probably have that in your kit. A 24-105 can do everything. You can do headshots, landscapes. I do all my e-com with it. Pretty much any studio you go to, you're gonna have a 24-105 around. If it's a really big studio, you'll probably have 70-200 as well, but 24-105 can cover 99% of everything. It's the most boring lens in the world, but it makes me the most money by far. And this is my studio camera. So I do have 2 cameras. I'm gonna get into a whole camera talk later, but for now, I have 2 EOS Rs and a Leica Q. That's all you really need to know right now. Battery grip, the 24-105 is usually on this camera, and I'll have either a 35 or a 50 on this one. So when I go outside to shoot, I grab this one, run outside. I just keep this one plugged in, tethered to the computer. Got a nice Godox trigger up top, so very simple, it's easy to control. And this is my studio setup right now. 2 EOS Rs. Always good to have a backup, and with the EOS R, it's $1,200, $1,300. You can find them used all day long. Such a good camera for the money, especially if you're in studio and you're just tethering to a computer. You don't need backups. Even when I have a backup card slots, people always go, oh, you gotta have 2. I've never used 2 anyway. Unless it's a really big job, I'm not gonna use 2. When people are doing video, how many times do you film with 2? No one uses 2 that often, only if you're gonna be a wedding photographer. Other than that, I think most professionals that I know, especially, no one uses 2 cards. It's so rare that it happens that a card would fail. Here we go. So let's just flip the camera around again. iMac 27-inch with the cable, kind of got off to the side. So that's a tether cable. If you're in the studio, you should be using Capture One. Do not, don't try to use anything else. You should be tethering to your laptop to something with Capture One. That is the premier source for studio photography. Don't try to learn anything else. Just go straight to Capture One for your studio work. I do prefer Lightroom for kind of outdoors. I just feel like I'm more creative in Lightroom. So you do have more options to be creative, I feel like, with Lightroom versus Capture One. Capture One is kind of a set it and forget it type thing. That's kind of what it's made for. It's just designed to put in your settings and you can adjust them as you go. So I don't even adjust the camera. I don't adjust white balance. I don't do any of that. I just do it all in Capture One. It saves it for you. You can just go to the next photo and everything's the exact same no matter what. So camera settings kind of won't matter after that. If you're using the camera without tethering, you're gonna have to worry about white balance. You're gonna have to check them to make sure they're in focus. It's not, you should be tethering. If you're in the studio, find a way to do it, get a laptop, just tether. It's the best thing you can do. It'll, you know, changes your studio game. If you don't tether, I would highly advise it. And we have a makeup area. So a nice little kind of makeup area, bathroom, a little bit of everything. So it's kind of a nice little setup. So I have, you know, 3 Godox. We have the 3 Profotos. So you always want to have a backup. If you buy one of these lights, they're so cheap, just buy 2. You can get more creative. 3 is ideal. That way you can have 1 up top, 2 on the background, or make it, you know, creative, but definitely have a backup of everything if you're in the studio. If one light falls and breaks, it's very embarrassing. If you can't shoot anymore, you don't have an extra one. So I would advise to have quantity over sometimes quality. Sometimes it's better to have, I would rather have 3 of these than 1 really good Profoto light. I've never had a problem with these, never. And I've done big jobs on them, I've shot with them all day long, never had a problem. But that's up to you if you want to go that route. Same thing with cameras. You know, I actually broke one of my EOS Rs the other day. A wave kind of came out of nowhere and took it down, and I had to send it off to get fixed. They were able to fix it, had a backup. The R5, $3,800. I can buy 3 EOS Rs for that, and no one's going to know the difference. Shooting wise, maybe you need certain specs on your cameras. That's fantastic, but if you're in studio, if you have a consistent thing going, you know your camera, it's not going to matter. No one's going to know the difference. I can line up this camera, I've lined up the R5, I lined up the Leica. Very slight tweaking in Lightroom. Capture 1, it's even less, and you wouldn't know the difference. I can put all 3 images side by side, no one knows the difference. I've sent them to everyone I know, you can't tell the difference. Shooting experience, yes, that is different. That's more of a personal thing, so up to you. But yeah, as far as studio goes, keep it simple, learn it, and be consistent with it. That is the most important thing. I will go into the next video talking about maybe my 1 light setup, show you kind of what it looks like, how I go about doing a whole test, you know, test shoot for models. I'm going to start doing a lot of behind the scenes. I will be having a friend, he's a filmer, so he'll be back in a couple weeks, and he's going to really be a good asset to the team and help me film a lot of this stuff so we can really start turning out some content and trying to teach. You know, gear is cool. Everyone makes money talking about gear and the new latest and greatest. But I tell you what, there's not a lot of people talking about how to shoot, doing simple things like this in studio, just good, clean lighting that's affordable. Everyone goes, you know, it's either way over the top or just really weird gels and all kinds of weird colors trying to show off. Sometimes the best way to do it is the simplest way to do it. Everyone, when I'm just shooting on the white background over there with just 1 light, people love that look. And it's just a light shooting at a wall, and everyone loves it. It's the simplest setup, but it, you know, offers the most consistent and kind of almost fun look to it. It's really cool. So don't be afraid to experiment, but definitely try to stick to one thing and see it through and try to promote it, offer it as a service. Just kind of like, you know, any photography business, you want to have some consistency. So this is my setup. Sorry, it's kind of rambling on now, but this is it. And I will catch you guys in another video soon. I'm going to try to start turning them out every week and go into a little more teaching and showing you how to shoot indoor and outdoor as well. So thanks for watching. I hope this was informative for you, give you some ideas on new ways to shoot, and I will see you in the next video.